So over the last 8 weeks, we've come to understand that the Beatitudes are signposts. They're earmarkers of the Christian life. And Jesus says, be happy or count yourself blessed. Know that you are on the right path of this Christian life every single time you experience trials and suffering and brokenhearted and all those times you get worn out on my behalf. The trouble is this. I don't want any of that. I don't want trouble. I don't want heartache. I don't want to be worn out. This body is made for leisure activities. I don't want any of that. I want no part of it. So to that chase, to those feelings, to those promises that have expiry dates, Jesus says to you and me, rejoice and be glad. Not because you've gotten everything you've ever wanted, not because you've arrived, not because you have the perfect house and the perfect spouse and the perfect car and the perfect whatever. No, Jesus says, rejoice and be glad. Know God's peace and his satisfying security, not when you get everything you want. No, instead, when you do good on his behalf and it gets you into hot water. So what we understand here then is that the Beatitudes aren't just about feeling good. The Beatitudes are about being good and doing good. And what Jesus has been trying to do through this whole episode is rewire us or change the coordinates of where you and I locate our meaning and our purpose and our fulfillment. And he wants us to identify the fakes, where the lines don't quite match up, where people put their thumbs over reprint, where we sometimes put our thumbs over those parts that tell us that what we are doing is not the real thing. But in any case, this might be the human predicament where you and I need to come before Jesus to be rewired. So the hard questions for you and I that rise out of this portion of the text for us this morning are these. What do you want? What are you chasing? What is making you happy right now? And are they things that are real, or is your thumb pressed against the reprint symbol? You bought into a fake, to a lie, some sort of counterfeit form of happiness. Or maybe the question for you this morning is this: have you given in to mimetic desire? Well, what does that mean? Does that mean, do you pore over and scroll over pages and pages and pages of Facebook and look at all the wonderful people in their wonderful clothes with their wonderful hair and wonderful kids and wonderful trips and wonderful Porsches and wonderful ice cream cones and say, I want that because they want it? Or maybe the question for you this morning is this: do you always give in to the first marshmallow, regardless of what the long-term plan is? And what do prophets do? We've talked about this before. Prophets speak God's truth in the middle of our present time. Prophets aren't fortune tellers. Prophets don't make predictions. Prophets bring clarity in the now when things are muddled and confused. Prophets are pointers. They're signposts to Jesus, to God, and what he is up to. So prophets and prophecy remind us that part of our reward, part of our gift of being with Jesus is not so that we can fight someone else and tell them they're wrong. No, it's for us to actually become our true selves, where you become the real you, a healed you, a whole you. Not a you, that is just shaped by these stray desires. Not a you that is petty or jealous or always combative. Not a you that is so fixed on your problems in your world you can't see God's bigger game plan. But the real you, the you that you were created to be. And listen, this isn't an ask or a suggestion from Jesus. This is a summons. How about this list of holy reversals that might help you along the way? Remember how Jesus described them? What did he say? He said, hey, are you at the end of your rope? Good, because that's where God does his very best work. And then he said, hey, are you in despair? Jesus says, take hope. I'm fixing everything. Are you unsure of what your value is, of what your worth is. Jesus says, reverse that. Think of it like this. Do you have any idea what your value and what your worth is? Or how about this? Are you in a relationship, or are you around relationships that are broken? Jesus says, get off your hands. Don't just sit on them. Actively play a part in their restoration. And beyond that, do you need mercy? Then show mercy. But don't forget that sin, dirtiness, poison isn't so much out there. It actually lives here. It actually hibernates inside of us. So be careful not to disturb it. Be careful not to wake it. Or were you caught in the crossfire of some fighting? Step up and be a peacemaker. And finally, are you suffering because of Jesus? Jesus says, reverse that. Rejoice and be glad, because that's a clue that you are on the right track. So then, the Beatitudes teach us that Christians are not identified by their point of view or their opinions. Instead, the Christian is identified by the way he or she meets the trouble in their lives. And the reward or the gift for meeting trouble in God's way, you get to be you. You get to be healed. You are made whole, starting right now.